during the 2020-21 period, we saw the buy down trend. That was quite significant.
With George Mienie now. He's AutoTrader CEO. George, appreciate the early morning time. One of the key constants over the last year and a half, 2 years, is whenever I chat to the CEOs of used car outlets, they've always been talking about problems with stock, the chip shortage, the supply chains, and this has had a significant knock-on into the used car market, which has seen fairly elevated prices in that space.
Yes, morning, Simon. I totally agree. We've seen in the last at AutoTrader on our platform, so to say, we've seen in the last 2 to 3 years, ever since lockdown. I mean, AutoTrader search and conversion was growing at, upper single digits, mid double digits, up to lockdown, and then suddenly after lockdown and the COVID crisis, we started to see the skyrocketing of search and conversion literally 2 months after we were locked down, because the market started to open. And that didn't dissipate even right up until probably about 1-2 months ago, when we started to see used car prices begin to fall ever so subtly. I mean, used car prices are still rising by about upper single digits, but that rise seems to be less. So it's getting less and less and less in its trajectory. So there's no exponential price rise anymore. And I think this is as a result of the ease on supply pressure on the new car side, silicon chip shortage supply pressure easing, global supply chains easing, and then there's one other big factor. And remember, the Toyota plant was flooded.
Of course, yeah.
Months back. That put a huge downward pressure on Toyota supply. Now Toyota's opening up again, and their supply to the new car market, which is then easing that demand. So we're seeing this subtle swing towards new car again. Month of October, we had a really good month from a new car point of view, over 30,000 units sold. So I think the used car prices are coming under pressure.
Are we seeing? I mean, and I don't know if you can work this out. Are people sort of shopping down? Where maybe in the past I would have bought I'm not sure what a fancy, and I get a slightly less fancy, or maybe I buy a car that's maybe a year older than I would normally have bought, simply because it's tough out there. I mean, interest rates, inflation, it's hard being a consumer.
Yeah, Simon, I think the reality is this is always the case. We saw, especially during the 2020-21 period, we saw the buy down trend. That was quite significant. We haven't seen it as significant in the lead up to that period and post that period. But consumers are always shopping for good deals at lower price points. I mean, the magic number for buying a car is under 500,000 rand. So consumers are constantly searching at that end. But the thing we have seen is we've seen a massive increase in the fuel type filter on our platform. So if you go on the left-hand side of autotrader.co.za, there's a fuel type, and that fuel type contains petrol, diesel, hybrid, and electric car. And we've seen the usage of that filter increase over the last couple of months, ever since the fuel price increase started to show its head at the beginning of the year, which then shows us that consumers are very sensitive to the economic pressures, and they change their behavior very quickly, and they start to look for alternatives. It doesn't mean they don't buy cars, because we're a car-faring nation. South Africa is 9 times bigger in landmass than the UK. But they change their behavior to suit their lifestyles, and when that economic pressure comes, they start to look for alternatives, and we see those alternatives in search.
Yeah, and we are a road tripping nation, is my sense. We like to get out there. You say they're changing. I mean, are people then looking for hybrids, for EVs, or is it sort of switching between diesel and petrol?
So it's a combination of diesel and petrol. So if I could give you the numbers, might give more context.
Yeah.
Petrol and diesel search have increased by about 26% year on year, whereas the search for EVs and hybrids have increased by over 140, in some cases, especially when it comes to the hybrid, over 200% year on year. Yes, low base.
Sure.
You can see the shift is towards more economical cars. consumers prefer diesels because, or South African consumers, should I say, prefer diesels because it is more economical. But there's definitely this trend towards EVs and hybrids. I personally drive a Jaguar I-Pace, full battery electric, and I don't think I'd ever go back, Simon. The cost of running this car is just unbelievably lower than it is to run a petrol car.
And range anxiety, because as you point out, we're 9 times the size of the UK. But typically, the average person, unless you're taking a trip to Durban or Cape Town and driving rather than flying, really, your range is not a problem.
It's not a problem, and especially with the cars that are being launched into market right now, the BMW i3, the ID4 in BMW, the iX40, also BMW, the Audi e-tron. So the likes of the i3, which was a very small battery, the Mienie SE, which was the small battery electric vehicle that came into the market a couple of years back, maybe had 150 kilometers of range. My Jaguar I-Pace, the BMW i3, the e-tron, the iX40, all have ranges anywhere between 290 and 350 to 400 kilometers. And bearing in mind there are over 300 chargers in the country, all within 200 kilometers of each other on the main highways. So making the next charger isn't a problem anymore.
Yeah, I take your point on that. We'll leave it there. Appreciate the time. George Mienie, AutoTrader CEO.